I'm a trauma-informed therapist with 20 years of experience, and I don't believe that people are broken. I believe that they are stuck in loops of self-survival that started when they were born, and for some, before they were born, sometimes in utero. Because the mother can be very stressed, and that is directly fed into the amniotic fluid, and the child would experience what the mother is experiencing. I do believe that the symptoms of mental illness are real, but they don't always come from chemical imbalances in the brain. They come from personality adaptations. In order to cope and be accepted in this world, these adaptations change our nervous system, and we develop what I refer to as a trauma body. Our greatest need is to feel safe, and so many of us did not grow up in a safe environment. In fact, we grew up in chaos, unpredictable rage, depression, lack of attunement, and more. And these all contributed to us becoming dysregulated. There are people in our lives that we can become co-regulated with, and we feel safe around them. And I'm sure you can think of some of those people right now. We feel seen, heard, and accepted. We're able to be ourselves, and that feels safe. So we thrive. I do not blame parents or caregivers for not being able to give the child what they needed, because they were probably traumatized themselves and didn't know they could or never did seek help, and it is not their fault. I want you all to know that you are stuck. And the beauty of being stuck is that you can get unstuck. You were not born like this. You learned it, and you can unlearn it. And that's the exciting part. That's what gets me up in the morning, knowing that you can unlearn something. You learned how to survive in one way, and now with your beautiful neuroplasticity, you can learn a new way to survive and thrive. We are all living in a dysfunctional society and led to believe that this is a normal when there isn't. I think the word should be removed from our vocabulary because it doesn't exist, just like perfection doesn't exist. These are social constructs that lead us down the wrong paths of values and beliefs. Right now, you have everything you need inside of you to heal. No one can heal you but yourself. And with some guidance and belief, you can recover your authentic self. And I just recently learned the etymology of authentic. It's a Greek word, and the first part of it, auto, which is the Greek, means self. So you see, authentic is recovering self, coming back to self, the self that you were born to be. You can learn how to be the compassionate caregiver that you never had for yourself, speaking to yourself in a kind and compassionate way as you would speak to others who are in pain. I love this metaphor. Imagine that there's a knock on the door in the room that you're in. Knock, knock, knock. And you open the door and you look, and you have to look down because there's a small child that's very distressed, very upset. And I always ask my clients, what would you do? Inevitably, they all say the same thing. Well, I would find a way to calm the child down. I would find the way to help the child feel safe. So you wouldn't ignore it? No, of course I wouldn't ignore it. So you would slam the door? No, I wouldn't slam the door. Or you wouldn't get angry with it? No, of course I wouldn't get angry with it. It's a small child and it's in pain. So you would actually get in conversation with it? Yes, of course I would. Well, that's not what you're doing in your life. You're slamming the door on it. You're distracting yourself with other things, going somewhere else, doing something else, eating a meal, watching a film, having sex, whatever it is, you're distracting yourself from the pain. Or you're getting angry with it. Not you again. When are you going to stop? When am I going to be okay? When are you going to leave me alone? Because you know that the only way to create safety is to get into communication with that part of you that is in pain, to sit with it and to let it know that you see it and you hear it and you accept it. Give it what it didn't have the first time around. Forgiving yourself for what was not your fault and realizing that you have no bad parts. All of you is valuable because there is wisdom in trauma. You are not responsible for what happened to you, but you are responsible for your own healing, and you can do it. I know. I see it all the time. I see it with myself. I'm on my healing journey, and I'm unrecognizable to who I was 5 years ago, even a year ago. Setting boundaries is the key to recovering your authentic self. It creates a path of safety and healing. And this is the ultimate self. Ultimate self-care. Wake up and realize that the 4 pillars of healing are not always easy, but they are very accessible, and you can start now with awareness. The first pillar. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. Acceptance, the ability to forgive yourself and ultimately others. I know this isn't easy, but when you realize that their behavior is a window into their pain, and you can become more compassionate towards them. It's a reflection of what's going on inside of them, and it has sometimes absolutely nothing to do with you. Then we are conscious when we have awareness and acceptance. The third pillar is conscious. And then we can make different and better choices for ourselves, which is the 4th pillar, and is full of post-traumatic growth and post-traumatic wisdom, which are my favorite parts of healing, when I actually see that in a client and in myself. So I hope that's helped, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Stay safe.